Hey guys, welcome back for the deck tech video for Nature of the Beast, the Naya shard. It will be piloted by Danny West.
Hey guys.
If you want to take a look at some of the interesting cards from this deck, we can do that. Here we have the General Mareth, Will of the Wild. This is the Naya guy. He has the commander ability that we've seen in previous cards like Jeleva, and that he comes in play with counters equal to the mana you cast. So turn 3, or 2, or I guess 1, he's a 3/3. He dies, he's a 5/5. He dies, he's a 7/7, barring any sphere of resistance shenanigans. So he gets bigger as the game goes on. That's a cool thing about Commander, that games should escalate. There's a time when the game should end, when people are drawing their deck and casting big guys that in the game. So his other ability is X, remove X counters from him. Either make a guy that's that big, put those counters somewhere else, or deal damage to something. So you can kill a troublesome guy, you can make more men for your army, or you can make, what's the third one?
The elemental one?
Oh yeah. You
make dudes.
You make someone else big. Make a guy, make someone else big. So the interesting thing about that one is that, say you have a creature that matters on the counters on him, you can move those counters to that creature and make it bigger. The other thing about this guy is X can't be 0. It doesn't say that on the card.
That's important.
Yeah, so say you had a Glorious Anthem out. If X could be 0, you just make a million guys. And infinite combos aren't really my cup of tea in Commander. There aren't a lot of cup of teas in Commander. Commander is a social format, of course, where everyone has to agree to play to certain terms. Maybe people aren't casting Armageddon, or people aren't Splinter Twinning, comboing out. But that's not really what I'm in the business for. Is that what you like doing?
Well, I will say that being that this is a casual format and it sees lots of plays on kitchen tables, this may be a good general for you guys out there whose friends maybe don't check Gatherer very often for errata, because what they don't know won't hurt them, or in this case will hurt them, bad when you go infinite with this card that is lacking a very important line of rules text.
So this guy, I like the picture. He's just this elk walking along.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. Okay, so his lieutenant is Gahiji Honored One. So this guy is a 4/4 for 5. Whenever somebody attacks one of your opponents, it gets +2/+0. The Naya Edric, if you will. Edric is 3 mana. You draw a card. This one gets +2/+0. It's definitely token oriented. It helps you beat up on the guy that's being the jerk. Hopefully that's not you, if you have this guy out in a million creatures. But they obviously combo well together. He's just a sweet 5 mana guy. He's a beast, continuing the beast theme in this deck. Nature of it, if you will.
Yeah, I like this guy. If for no other reason, then sometimes in formats where you're starting with 40 life, it can be difficult to be the aggro deck. This is a card that offsets sort of that disadvantage. I think this guy would make a fine general on its own, especially just in a straightforward aggro deck. If Brian Kibler were to ever get into Commander, maybe this is a choice for him. Things like that.
He would be in his Rift the Awakener deck.
Correct. Yes, correct.
When formats where you start with 40 life and people are playing with Soul Rings and Demonic Tutors.
Sure.
Well, the White Weenie guy is going to have a little bit of trouble.
Correct.
So tokens is kind of like a lot of times how people play aggro decks. All right, so if you look over here, funny, interesting card, Mystic Barrier, the new card. It's one of the cards that when it comes to play, you choose left or right. You choose that direction, and people can only attack players in that direction.
This is a friends and enemies card. This will get interesting, and it'll be fun to look to the left and to the right at 2 different faces, and I can see a lot of good stories and good moments when this card resolves.
Yeah, a lot of Commander is like, let's us 2 be on a team, and we can fight these guys. Well, this one solidifies that for you.
Yes, but I like this card a lot.
But maybe the guy that's your ally wants to, he blows it up, and then he kills you. Oh, the stories.
The stories brew. These left or right cards, let's face it, they were an inevitability. They were kind of hinted at with the Archangel, the choose war or peace kind of thing.
Archangel Strife.
Yeah, that's kind of where this mechanic is going, and I like where it's at. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, are cool. Also, in 1v1, doesn't do a whole lot.
It doesn't. But keep it around.
Keep it around. You never know.
Keep it around. Now, you can sideboard it in.
Now, interesting. If you have 2 in play and it's 1v1, you still have to attack that person. If you choose left and right.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Okay. Here we have Restore. Restore is the Graveyard Farseek. You get a land from any player's graveyard. It's probably more at home in a dredge-based deck like Mimeoplasm or some graveyard deck.
Sure.
To where you can mill sweet lands like Command Tower, or I guess maybe Opal Palace or Homeward Path.
Why not?
Yeah. Or other cards that you can bring back, and it not only ramps you sort of, because you're probably not casting on turn 2.
Sure.
But you get a land back. Maybe he's playing older formats. Probably not. It's not really what Lands is interested in. But it's a neat design space that was never connected to the dots before.
Correct. This is another one of those cards that I'm surprised it hasn't existed, but it's definitely at home in this format and in this product. I really like. I've played against Damia decks. Bug sort of decks with attrition wars where strip mines are recurring, Crucible of Worlds is a thing, and the idea of blowing up one of your opponent's their sweetest land and then taking it. I'm
not a big spot land destruction is fairly important in Commander.
Sure.
You want that. Lands are very powerful, hard to interact with. But mass land destruction, they've kind of changed their tune. We no longer have Ravagers of War, Armageddon. In Commander the first time in 2011, they had Ruination.
Yes.
Which was kind of an odd card I thought that they included. But here, they learned that. They've risen from the ashes and made what I like to call the fixed Ruination.
Yes.
It's 3 in red, Ruination, destroy all non-basic lands, but those players, then they get basic lands coming up under their control.
Yes.
A lot of Commander decks that are 3 or more colors, they have tons of non-basics. They have maybe 6 basic lands, a billion non-basics to make your mana good and get all the value you can out of your ability lands. If you do that to them, it kind of teaches you that you should have basic lands. Come on, man.
Play fair.
Play fair.
Be reasonable. Keep them honest.
Lands are sweet, but like basic lands are a part of the game, and you should play with that.
Acclaimed artist Eric Klug is a big fan of his Zozu the Punisher mono red deck, and I am eager to see what this can do in a deck like that.
Yeah, it will go in a lot of mono red decks just to get rid of opposing sweet lands. But if you're mono red, you might be Mages of the Mooning and Blood Mooning.
Yes.
But that's not as bad as Armageddon.
Sure.
Yeah. So I like this card is fine. I like this card.
And there's also the old school art of Ankh of Mishra, which
Ankh of
is
Mishra, play a land you can take too.
Yeah. There's a lot that you could do with this card to eliminate a lot of players at the same time.
Okay, and then we have Temple of Discovery, the tempting offer card in this deck. It is a rampant growth. It's more than that. It is a rampant growth for any land.
Yes.
So it can be you get your sweet land with this. So you get a sweet land, and everyone else is going to get a sweet land, of course.
Sure.
So you have 3 friends or associates or people you don't like. I don't know why you're playing Commander with.
It depends on who you call. If you call left or right.
Left
how
or
many
right.
are your friends?
Yeah. So you get a land, and then they each get a land, and then you get 3 more lands. So you effectively have gotten 4 lands, and everyone else has gotten 1 land. So you only get 3 more lands, kind of, if you want to take 4 minus 1 for each opponent.
I'm on record as being a fan of tempting offer, and I like sort of the poker that comes with it, where it's sort of balls in your court. What do you guys want to do? It's what Commander's all about.
I foresee this going in a lot of green-black decks where you go get Cabal Coffers and Urborg.
Yes.
In the same, because you can get both of them with this card.
That's cute.
So, or you can get, say, Thespian Stage Dark Depths.
Yeah.
Those are also 2 cards. All those cards will probably be in any deck that runs this card.
Sure.
That's also black.
I think people are going to learn a lot about tempting offer.
I think this one will punish people the most.
I agree.
The other one's like, I get some 1/1s, random guy. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And I'm dead.
And I'm dead, yeah. Here we have the lands. We have Opal Palace, like we talked about before. Let me make sure Commander better. We have Homeward Path. This is the only deck that Homeward Path was reprinted in.
Sure.
When I make Commander decks, I've pretty much made a rule to have Homeward Path in every deck.
I'm a huge fan of the card, especially in decks like this where you can also feature cards like Knight of the Reliquary, and you can just
find it.
Instantaneously get your stuff back against blue decks that have desertion and bribery and win the game through taking your stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with the choice to put it in this deck, as sort of gaining control of other people's things is less at home in these colors. Red has threaten effects, obviously, where you get something temporarily but there's no control magic, there's no enslave cards like that, so this deck probably needs Homeward Path.
Yeah, so in pretty much every Commander deck, I have Expedition Map, and then I find the path on my father's map to find the Homeward Path.
May your heels point you home.
Thanks. And here we have New Benalia. So this card isn't that powerful. It came out in Planar Future Sight, Planar Chaos.
I think it was one of the Planar or Future Sight lands.
Future Sight land. It comes play tapped, which isn't that good in Commander. You want to be curving out if you can, but
especially a 1-color.
Color card. But it scries 1, so it's a temple, as we've seen from Theros. When the temples were released, they're just guild gates that are rare. That's terrible. And then people started playing them standard, and you realize in the mid game you play this land. I don't need that anymore. I've drawn a card.
Yeah, I'm never going to argue with anything Preordained does. I don't care if it's on a land or anything.
Yeah,
so
Scry 1 people thought was way less powerful than Scry 2, and it is, but you're still drawing cards. People are splashing the dual color lands in monocolor decks just because it draws a card half the time.
Yeah, and especially in like mirror matches where one draw can make all the difference. I'm a big fan of this, and I think it's funny that this is in this product because it's almost like Scry is now okay to be in places it wasn't before. So it's like this coming out after Theros, it's almost like they've unlocked the gate for a card like this to be not off color pie.
Yep. Okay, so these are the sweet cards from this deck. I guess we should get some battling, Danny.
I will battle you, sir.
All right, let's get ready to shake your battle rattle.